What's going on? This is The Pursuit, episode number 6 with my man, Marcus Green. And I know we're usually talking about businesses, but my man has been married for 27 years. I'm about to be married for 27 years. We both have kids, both been doing this thing. You're going to find out tonight that the date that I got married to Tequila is the day he found his wife. And we are sponsored by G. Allen and Incorporated. It makes all apparel needs for Now Church and this podcast and everything. But we're just going to jump in and just talk about some life stuff because business, your family is also a business. You're going to hear us talk about he is the CEO of Green Enterprises. I am the CEO of Davis Enterprises, but the smart was in the house are the CFOs of Green and David Enterprise. So we're going to talk about kids, raising daughters, having sons, how to pick a wife, just all that stuff. So my man, you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, so let me ask you this. Both of us having daughters, and both of us having daughters who have gone away to school, graduated, doing well. You know, one of the things that people say is, and I know this is not your mentality because you and I talk all the time, that you have to sending daughters away, you have to inject them with a little bit of heathenness or wildness, or they're going to be wild when they go away. What do you think that's true?
Man, I've seen it. You can have this girl that's been sheltered, and the first bit of freedom that she perceives that she have, it's a wrap. It can never get contained. But if you temper that,
what's temper?
My thing is you let the reins go a little bit while they're still under your roof, and to be able to help manage the reaction. So if I let my daughter do something that normally I wouldn't, but I let them do because they're going off. Let's see. Let me try to think of an analogy.
Yeah, give me an example, because I personally don't believe that you and unless like Reagan at 22, you know what one of her dreams is? To go to a club, because she's just kind of like, dang, I've never had that experience. So in her mind, now, big time, me and you know, Reagan thinks a club is something she saw where they're going,
right.
And I'm like, she's like, I just want to go in and see the smell and the light. But you know, with her, when I went to sleep at night, I could go to sleep.
Sure.
I didn't worry about the window being open. I didn't worry about the garage, you know, and she's in DC. She's got her own job, her own, you know, and so I didn't feel like I had to like, okay, let me send her to a club. Let her do this and do this and do. I just feel like she's gonna be who she is, you know. She's gonna be like her mama.
Yeah.
So what about you?
So here's the thing. So, one of the things, like with my daughter and all my kids, it goes back to the
daughter, because I'm gonna ask you something.
Yeah. But it goes back to that
that
adage that I was saying, that you're not your own. And so I've gotten her to understand for years that you represent somebody. You are a representation of me and your mother. So I want you to go out and experience, but you understand you are representing someone other than yourself. So I have never had the fear or the inclination, like you say. I slept at night very well because I knew she knew who she was, and one of the things that I made sure that she understood, that although that I'm not there, your dad knows people everywhere, sweetheart. So she hey, we were somewhere, and I mean, we were out of the state, out of the country. Someone that I knew came up. She was just like, you know, people everywhere. I said, yeah, I mean, yes, I do. So just make sure that you always on your P's and Q's. And so that's a little joke, but yeah, I never really had that concern with her. She was always a good girl.
Look, one day, Tequila said, "Hey Nate, have you talked to Cole about the birds and the bees?" And I was like, "Nah." She said, "I think you need to talk to him." I said, "All right." And I said, "Cole, yeah, Dad." I said, "You want to talk about love?" He said, "Dad, if it ain't about Caleb Love, I don't want to talk about it." So I was like, you know what? If this dude thinking about Caleb Love playing basketball and walking around with this 2-year-old dog, I said, I picked up for school today. I said, "What you want to go and do?" "I just want to go home and get something to eat and talk to Penny." If he want to talk to Penny and talk about Caleb Love, I was like, hey, I ain't gonna open up no door.
No, you don't open up no door. But I have a one that's still in my house that I gotta inspect what I expect.
Okay.
I 100% gotta inspect what I expect, and what I expect is me and Tracy. We're not ready to be no grandparents no time soon, and what I expect you doing what you need to do that doesn't happen. So it's funny that you say that. He and I just had to have this conversation the other night, and it's funny how our wives put us up. You need to go talk to that boy. You need to go. I'm like, come on. Hey. All right. So we sit down and we had a little birds and the bees chat. And for instance, it was a little uncomfortable for him, but I'm telling him, I'm saying at 17, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do or you're thinking about doing that I haven't done. And that's the part about, they see you as dad, they see you as 50 plus, and you don't understand. You haven't been where I am. I'm like, son, you have not done nothing yet. And so they don't, that's the piece right there that just blows my mind. I'm just like, man, I know where you are. I've been 17 before. I just want to make sure that you're understanding and protected, and don't put yourself in these situations, because hormones are very, very strong.
It's
Very
funny
strong.
when you said Tracy wanted you to go in there and talk to him. So that's how it is in our house too. Now, how long have y'all been married, Marcus?
27 years.
Okay, we're about to be married 27 years on Friday, and she was like, "You need to go in there and you need to tell the boys to put their clothes up." And I'm kind of like, "You're right here. Like, why do you want to make me
The bad guy.
the bad guy?" Like,
Yeah.
but man, on Sunday, so I'm like, okay, I got to be the dog. I got to be the bully. Somebody in the house did something Sunday. She turned into they like, "Dad, we don't want mom mad at us. Oh, look, it was like, it's just her tone and the way she changed. I was like, I wanted to save him, but I didn't want to get in trouble. Like, I was like, I don't want to get in trouble.
Save yourself. Save yourself. Yeah.
I was like, who is this? So I'm over there on the sofa where they can't see my head. And I'm like, dude, she's letting y'all.
I know.
She's letting y'all.
I've had those same that same type. You know, the thing that I find, and this is probably why you and I, we relate so well. Very, very similar. You know, we've both been married to one woman for
same amount of time.
Same amount of time.
We're the same age.
Same age. Similar life experience, and it's just so. I mean, and my wife is like super dope. The best thing that ever happened to me. I don't know where I would be without her. I mean, and I say that in all sincerity because I was a mess. But you know, and to see these women deal with us, because I'm a mess.
Yeah.
If you're anything like me, I know you're a mess too. And I just really want to commend them for dealing with us, because I mean, every time when I get off this podcast, I gotta go in there and I gotta face the music. Now, what did you say?
Yeah.
What did you say? Did you
okay?
say?
Let me ask you this one. Somebody who's been married, because Chazler was like, hey, I want you guys to give one thing that you learned in 27 years. So when Tracy is mad at you and you've done something wrong, what is your heat check to let you know, like whether you're back in the game, like whether you're in your good graces? What are your heat checks that you do?
So one of the heat checks is so our daily ritual. She's downstairs or whatever. I'll come and hug her and kiss her on the cheek. Now, if she allowed me to enter into her personal space and kiss her on the cheek, I'll test that. If she hits me with the elbow, because sometimes she'll hit me with the elbow, and she's not quite there yet.
Okay. Now, mine is hey, I'm about to come home. You hungry? No. Oh, okay. Because like I was gonna stop and get something. No, they don't fine.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can I tell you what happened? Sure. Are you still mad at me? Sure. I'm like, you can't be mad and nice.
See, she knows my love language is physical touch. So if she will allow me to touch her and hug her and give her a kiss, then I know we're kind of good. But if she hits me with the elbow, I know I need to give her another day or something.
Time you wait to do your second move?
It depends on the severity of
if the chokehold didn't work, what's your next move?
Well, it depends on the severity of what my mess up was. Now, if I messed up deep, Pine, I might fall back for at least a day.
Okay.
Right. But if it was just a minor infraction, I'll give her an hour or two and then come back. So it's like I'll test it at breakfast. If she's still not there, I'll come back maybe midday at lunch. She's not there. Then dinner time, she probably gonna be all right. But yeah.
So in being married 27 years and us going on 27 years on Friday, I did this thing. We're starting this podcast straight since 88. That's when I met Tequila in 1988. And I do this thing where Malcolm X found his wife. How did you know Tracy was the one?
Oh man, I love telling this, man.
All right.
It just really. So this was our freshman year at college.
Okay.
It was August 16th, 1991.
No, that's my anniversary.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen. And this is another similarity that we didn't
That's
know.
our anniversary. That's when we got married.
And so at school, when we got out of football practice, so that freshman year, only the freshmen and the football team was on campus. So we got out of football practice, and Tracy and her friends were sitting. We got this little brick wall called a stoop at the school. So they were sitting there, and as we're coming through, one of the guys that's on the team, he told the girls, "Hey, come here for a second." And so they got up off the stoop and they ran and sat down before the girls could get back. And so Tracy was very, very upset because she got duped out of her seat. And so she stormed off, huffing and puffing, very upset. I said, "Hell, let me walk with you. I know you're upset. Let me walk with." And I had never seen her before on campus yet. That's the first time I ever seen her. I just knew she was upset, and because what happened to her was not right. So she walked down, and I sped up and walked with her. And so it had to been, since it was dinner time, it's probably about 6:00 in the afternoon. And so we walked off, and we walked and talked that night. I probably didn't get back to my dorm till maybe about 9-10 o'clock that evening.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got back to the dorm and was telling some of my friends, I said, "Man, I just met my wife." And they was like, "Man," because I was a kind of a wild dude, right? And they was like, "Man, stop playing." I said, "No, man, I'm dead serious, man. I just met Miss Green. I 100% just met her." And they was just like, "Are you serious?" I said, "I am, all jokes aside, I'm not playing. I just met her. Now, I'm not ready yet, but when I'm ready, that's the one for me."
When did you know you were ready?
P-Nate, I knew I was I knew I was ready when Tracy graduated a year before me. She was on that 4-year plan. Your boy was on that 5-year plan. Now we came to school.
Look, Tequila stayed. I started college an extra year before her.
Yeah,
She had to stay an extra year so we could both be on a 5-year plan. No,
listen,
she was on a 4 and I was on a 5.
Listen, so your boy was on the 5-year plan, and
Yeah.
she graduated in 95. And so when she was getting ready to graduate, man, I had this moment, it was just me, and I was just like, that's the one for me. And you will be a fool if you let her leave here without you sealing the deal and know that person needs to be in your life forever.
Yeah.
So when it was her senior year, and she was graduating, I still had another year, and I proposed to her right before she got ready to graduate. And so we were engaged while I was finishing up, and then but here's the thing. She dropped the ultimatum on me. Now I got a question for you, P-Nate.
Okay.
How would you feel if Tequila, if let's say you lived here in Durham and Tequila lived in New York, And she says, Nate, if you're not here by this weekend, you can kiss our relationship goodbye. You go on your way, I'll go on mine, but you need to get here by this weekend. What do you do?
I would have got there by that weekend. You
My
know, with us, it was because I started school a year before she did. So when she graduated from high school, she had all these choices like Georgetown, UVA, Purdue, Howard, Hampton, and I'm in Vietnam. And I said, listen, one of the things I tell women is don't make a permanent decision on something that may be temporary. So I said, listen, Viv was a different monster.
Yeah.
Don't leave me down here. And I said, now if you go to Carolina, because she got accepted to Carolina, I said, you go into Carolina, I'm telling you, when we both graduate, whenever that is for me, my future's up in the air, you know. But whenever we graduate, like I'm going to marry you.
Yeah.
We graduated in May. We got married in August. Like I couldn't really afford a really, really nice ring. There used to be a store in Durham called Brindle's.
Yeah.
And I went and got it, man. It was like $50. And she went and put on her finger and took like photos with it. And they're like, oh girl, what kind of ring is that? She said, oh, these are baguettes. I said, look, you keep putting that in that jewelry cleaner, it's gonna fall out. But she was just happy, you know, and I made her a promise. And we got married August 16th, just the day you met Tracy, 1997. And I knew because she was cool with where we were at the time, you know,
Yeah.
but I knew that she was gonna rock with me, even an extra year of college, even though, you know, all that stuff. So like I knew she was the one.
So how do you feel in this culture that we live in? You know, you mentioned the ring that you gave Tequila, and I too have a similar story with the ring that I gave Tracy. I didn't even know what a engagement ring was. So we were walking through the mall and she pointed at a ring in this jewelry place and she liked it. And so I bought it, and that's what I used to propose to. It was a cocktail ring. Now I know it was just some
I
gaudy.
think ours probably may have been too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how do you think Tequila, you would have made the same choice with Tequila if she would have said, and like now in this modern culture where you had to, you know, the ring got to be $10,000 before you know, it's something out there in social media that the ring got to be
Yeah.
something astronomical.
Absolutely. I don't think I could have.
Yeah.
Because where I was.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, even when, so I don't believe in calling, and I know this is two fathers talk. I don't believe in calling and asking somebody's permission to marry somebody. Now, it's not Bible, it's experience. Because I tell people, if you call somebody's dad, and I had a guy make this mistake one time. If you call him and he says no, what are you gonna do? Because at that point you look disobedient. You know what I'm saying? And then you put her in a position where it's kind of like he asked me and I told him no. So with her mom, I was kind of like, hey, Miss BJ, I want to let you know something. I'm gonna marry Tequila. I'm gonna take care of her. I'm gonna work hard. She'll never have to come back to you and say I abused her or anything like that. But I love your daughter and I'm going to take care of her. and I just want to let you know my intentions. I'm going to ask her to marry me. She hung up on me. What no blessing. She hung up on me.
Yeah.
But I knew, like, even graduating and being so young, like, and the reason why I go so hard for her, we didn't get to go on no honeymoon.
Yeah.
We got married on a Sunday. I had no job. My old basketball coach called me on a Monday and told me I could work for him. But there was like no, and there was no like, I can't believe we ain't going on honeymoon and da da da. She was like, let's do this. Come on, I'm with you. So I've always known that she's had my back.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't get really funky with money. And I know people like, hey, you know, she's in charge of the finances. She does everything. Yeah, because when we didn't have nothing, she was in charge of the finances. She had a job, and I didn't. I was playing basketball in college, and we put our little account together. And she said, hey, do you want to come to the bank and put out both our names on the account? I like, dog, I got $37. Like,
we got nothing to put in on that.
If you want to put it with yours, like, I'm good, you know. And so I think there's sometimes, like with you and Tracy, what makes the covenant stronger is you chop down trees together.
Yeah.
You chop down trees together. So it's not like, and I know that's kind of different for people who may not be the conventional married couple. And who's to say what's conventional now?
Sure.
But, you know, when you don't have things and you have things, you know, you have to be a lot more intentional when you have things. 401k, you had your own apartment, own home, own car. But like, we didn't have any of those things. So it's just kind of like at 50, she tells me what to do because I haven't chopped down a tree without her.
You know, and some of the I think you were going to ask this question earlier that Chasley was asked you. The best marital advice that we got as a young couple that we still are reaping the benefits till this day. My pastor that shout out to Bishop Combs, he Christ Church
in Colorado, right?
In Aurora, Colorado. He told us to model your income after one person's income. So put all of your expenses and all of your living expenses off of one of your incomes, because he said inevitably, you know, something could happen where one may lose their job, may not want to go back to work. This was before kids and everything. So we put our everything together into the one pot, and we lived off of one income. Mm-hmm. Everything else was saved, but we lived off of one income. And that principle has helped us tremendously throughout our marriage for 20 some odd years. And, you know, I thank God. Now, Tracy is the smart one, is the brains of the organization. Much so when we got married, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it.
I was gonna ask you now, what did you say when you finished?
Right. Somebody said that I married her for her money, right? And that so it's the perception was out there that she was, and she is definitely the wind under the wings, but she chose to leave her job, which she had a very, very good job at the she was working for the Department of Interior in federal government in Denver, Colorado, and she chose to leave there and be at home with our kids, which is super. That is a act of sacrifice that I personally could not have asked her to do. She had to do that on her own. That's
Yeah.
something that she wanted to do to give our kids a leg up in life. And this is one of those that goes back to that generational wealth thing. They're going to reap benefits from her sacrifice, 30 some odd years ago,
Right.
and they're going to be the better person for it. And I say that to say that her leaving her job, and then we lived on one income, it has helped us throughout. So a lot of people say in modern times that it's impossible to live on one income. The way that you used to do it back then is not possible now in this modern time. I'm living testament that that's not true.
Yeah. I think, it's crazy how our stories are so similar because Keela graduated from Salem Academy, graduated from UNC, and she was going to be a lawyer. She's going to be a lawyer. She was marrying somebody at the time who wanted to be a basketball coach. And I said, hey, can you kind of put being a lawyer on hold while I try to figure this basketball thing out? And so every once in a while, when it seems like we were getting further from the time, I mean, you can go back to school anytime, but I ask her all the time, how do you feel about your decision not to go to law school? She said, Nate, I did what was most important at the time. So what was most important to me at the time was us figuring it out, you being and so when it's kind of like, too, the fact that people love her, because she gets on me all the time. The fact that people love her, the fact that people think she is the only smart one in the house, the fact when I wear a suit on a Sunday, people like, I know she dressed you. The fact that I'm in my lock journey and people say, it looked good. I know she picked it because I don't have an ego. Like I'm not trying to make her, because people love her, I'm not trying to make her lesser and saying, me too. I'm smart too. I went to school too. Me too. I'm like, look, if y'all love her, great. Works for me. If you think this is Lady in the Tramp situation, great. Because I don't have an ego.
Yeah.
I don't care. When I say, and this is Lady T, the first lady of this crib, and they like, what? I just said, hey, I'm past A. Oh, Lady T. Oh, look at that yellow. I'm like, and I think that in marriage, you can't have an ego, that you have to bring the person down
Right
to make yourself look good. She's like, Nate, why you always make it just seem like the only thing you did was go to the club? And I'm like, babe, they love you. I don't care. I want them to love you. I want them to think you great. Why? Because I think you great. But I don't have, even when I go to the gym and I work out pretty hard, people say, and because I'm filming her. She ain't filming me. And I'm not like, well, film me too, because we got to be. I don't care if she don't film and post a picture. She jumping rope, I'm filming her. She doing jumping jacks, I'm filming her. And so people say, she over there doing something. He ain't doing nothing. I'll be like, listen, I played college basketball and you want to see me? Because I don't care.
P-Nate, you said something this Sunday, and I turned and looked at Tracy, and we just bust out laughing. You said that it was somebody, a teacher or somebody that told Tequila not to mess with you.
Miss Lawson.
So this was one night I had took Tracy back to her dorm and was dropping her off. And so she walked in the dorm and I turned and went the other way. And then the lady, so this was back in the day where you had a dorm mother. So this
Yeah.
lady
Oh,
yeah. So all the
really?
girl, yeah. All the girls had to check in and out when they come back to the dorm and when they went out the dorm. And so Tracy was coming back in and she said, Miss P, come here. That's Tracy's maiden name. Miss P, come here for a second. So Tracy go over to the desk and she was just like, is that your boyfriend? And she's like, yes, ma'am. He ain't the one for you. You need to leave him alone. He's terrible. You need to leave him alone. Oh my God. When you said that, I just looked at her. We both fell out laughing. I was just like, yeah. It was a lot because she was a, you know, that lady in the tramp, she was such a good person. And I'm so glad that she saw through all of my mess that what I could be. Because then I was not that, but it was so funny. And I just, every time I hear him and you and I talk, I'm just like, man, our situation is so similar. It's just scary, man. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, Miss King said, and I was like, man, because I would really liked her, but I had to kind of front.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, who's that girl over there that talk right proper? And Miss King said, that is Tequila. Leave her alone and stay away from her. She gonna be somebody, and you ain't gonna mess her. I was like, man, nobody don't like her. No
You
way.
gonna mess her life up.
Yeah, nobody don't like her anyway. Her proper talking self.
Man.
So I was the office assistant during the last period, and she had Miss King for social studies.
Yeah.
So I would make a note every day to go in that class to see her. And then one day, Miss King took off her shoes and said, I know why you in here. Get away from Tequila. I mean, in front of the whole class. And I had to leave the class. And I the day I decided to, the step tour. Yeah. And I tell the story about it is on Miss Kettler's classroom. Me and my boys, Jason, my cousin Jason, and Tremaine, we used to walk the halls in the morning so people could see what we had on or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so I bumped into her. She had on one of them the sweaters you wear off the shoulder with the little black thing under. Yeah. And I said, hey, what's up? She said, hey. And I said, what's your name? She said, Tequila. And she said, what's your name? I was like,
girl, you know my name. Stop fronting. Everybody know my name.
Marcus, that's what I said. And she said, are you going to tell me your name or not? And I said, I told you, She said, you know what? If you can't be serious, then get up. I said, hey, hold on. My bad. I started off wrong. And the thing about her is that I love about her, I don't have to put up any type of persona.
Yeah.
I can be silly. I can be funny. I can dance. I can laugh at stupid stuff. Like I can be Nate around her, and I'm sure you can be Marcus around Tracy.
100%.
And we're starting this podcast straight since '88, and y'all gonna be our first people. We're gonna swap stories.
Man, I got them for days, Pete.
Let's do it.
I got them for days.
Well, we took this podcast a pursuit, but I guess it is a pursuit because we both pursued our wives.
But in the pursuit, and I want everyone to understand that when you set your eyes on a target and you go after a goal, either it's in life, either it's in business, because we kind of intersected all these things, business, our kids, rearing kids, and our marital life, all those things to me are wealth building aspects.
Yeah.
And I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm going to say it anyway. Being with one person, building a life together with one person, it puts you in a realm that you can achieve more together than by yourself. So
Absolutely.
I stand on that. I believe it, and I'm the better person for it. So
Yeah, somebody asked me something today about when do you go out? And I said, I'm a homebody, not because I don't like to be around people and stuff like that. I said, but my wife has created such an environment of of peace. Like, with our kids and these dogs. And I was telling Danielle the other day, we got a new comforter, and I was just like, oh my, I was excited. We just got a new comforter. I said, but babe, you have created such an environment of peace. And people think peace sometimes is like quiet, nothing's going on, but there's a amount of organized confusion
yeah,
that
yeah.
that at the house that is still a piece. Somebody can't find their shoe. Nate, did you know, man, it's crazy. I think she bought all the school supplies for the whole school. I'm like, dude, these people got hand sanitizer. Well, Nate, the form says hand sanitizer. Like, hey, they got hand sanitizer. And it was funny because Cole started the 10th grade, and she sent him with this big bag of all these school supplies, right? So I'm dropping them off at school, and I see all these kids, and they ain't got anything. I said, hey, man, leave it in your car. Leave it in the car, man. He's like, why, Dad? I said, I can't let you go in the first day. When you got your book bag and school supplies. But that thing that makes us so different, like it was organized confusion. He's like, Dad, you're going to get in trouble. And she kind of fussed at me, but it was still a piece in her fussing.
I know.
Because that's like family. That's like life to me. Like, I'm the husband and I got in trouble and the kids snitched on me. That's that organized confusion that I just at 50, about to be 51, I love. But so we're gonna have y'all on.
Yeah.
This is episode 6 of The Pursuit with me and my man. I call him big time, Marcus Green. We're gonna see y'all for episode number 7.